Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about the elections that took place in the state of Karnataka in South India. Over the weekend, the results have come out, and there has been a tremendous shift, at least in the state of Karnataka. The Bharatiya Janata Party lost, and the Indian National Congress won spectacularly. And But before I discuss the politics of Karnataka, I'm not an expert on the caste system, nor do I understand the domestic politics of the state of Karnataka deep enough to make any positive or thoughtful contribution. However, I do want to make a couple of broad observations, big observations, and also ask one or two pertinent questions. So this is a drone view of Karnataka politics. Hopefully, people who are more involved in the nitty-gritties and details of the Karnataka elections have missed these observations, and hopefully you will find them useful. But before I move forward, if you have not already subscribed to Conversations, do subscribe to Conversations, like this video, ring the bell icon, and don't forget to share it with your friends and your social network. So the first thing that I want to do is to congratulate the Indian National Congress for its spectacular win in Karnataka. It has got absolute majority and will form the government in the state of Karnataka. The second thing is that I do want to congratulate the Indian democracy. This is another example of fair and free elections being held in India. And it is also another example that India is indeed one of the biggest democracy in the world. And it has, in the last few decades, really upped its game when it comes to the mechanics of elections and democratic politics. So that is the second thing that deserves recognition. And the third thing is I actually also want to congratulate BJP for conceding right away. In fact, as the trends became apparent, the state BJP leader conceded defeat to the Congress party, and Prime Minister Modi himself tweeted congratulations. So in that sense, in this era of Trump, where the losers simply question the validity of elections and undermine their own country's democracy and their own country's political institutions, this was nice to see that, at least in this particular case in Karnataka, all the parties agreed that this was a fair and free elections, both the winners as well as the losers. The winners obviously would consider it fair and free elections. Let's talk a little bit about the shifts that is apparent to everybody. The Congress, which in 2018 had got 80 seats, got 135 seats this time, a gain of 55. There are about 224 seats in the Karnataka Assembly. The BJP, which got 104 last time, got only 66 votes this time. It lost 38 of its members from the assembly. And the Janata Dal, the so-called Kingmaker Party, basically became 50% of what it was. It had 37 in 2018, has only 19 seats in this. In terms of percentage of vote, even though the BJP lost 38 seats, it did not lose in terms of percentage of votes. In 2018, it got 36% of the vote, and even now it got 36% of the vote. The Janata Dal has lost 5% of the vote, and the Indian National Congress gained 4.8%. So this small margin of voter shift of 5% from Janata Dal to probably all of it to Congress has caused this major shift in the assembly, in the power structure of the state. That is very interesting. The lesson from this is for all parties is do not ignore small communities in your state. Even if they are 10%, even if they are 12% or 13%, they can make a huge difference if the competing parties are matched. If Congress was as weak as it was a few years ago, then perhaps BJP could have simply overwhelmed them in this election, but it is appearing as if the Congress is becoming stronger and stronger. I do not want to discuss the details of Karnataka politics, but it is, to me, a bit troubling that in one of the most educated states in the country, Karnataka, one of the most developed states, very prosperous, the IT hub of India, Bengaluru, is in Karnataka, the IT hub of the world with some of the greatest new innovations in Microsoft coming from Karnataka. In spite of this high level of education, prosperity, and development, caste and religion played a significant role in this election, and that to me is very disappointing. So that is my first big observation about this election, that in spite of education, in spite of development, in spite of wealth, caste and religion continue to plague. So what's the difference between, well, like, what difference is education bringing to the political arena? This is a question that people who understand Karnataka politics much better than me should be able to answer. But to me, this is a troubling question, that caste and religion continue to matter. Talking about religion, apparently, according to some estimates, 88% of the Muslim vote went to the Congress, and Muslims are about 12 to 13% of the state. But that's an interesting question, that yes, Muslims did support the Indian National Congress significantly. Religion also played a big role in the rhetoric of the campaigns, and that was very troubling. Not just rhetoric, also in terms of policy. The Congress did make a big deal of trying to promise to ban Bajrang Dal and PFI, and basically they said, we are going to ban these religious or religiously motivated outfits for the betterment and harmony of the state. So clearly, this whole argument about this posture of promising to ban Bajrang Dal was targeted at Muslim and secular voters. But the BJP did use religion significantly in these elections. They started with the hijab controversy, and that dragged on for a few months, polarizing the population. Every time the population is polarized, the assumption is that the Hindu vote is consolidated, and regardless of what's going on in the state, there might be people who might just vote for the BJP because it represents Hindu interests. And so they started with the hijab ban, and then they went on to the controversy about the attempt to ban halal ban. And then there's also the discussion, in fact, an observation by a very prominent BJP leader, that BJP did not need a single Muslim vote to win elections in Karnataka. That was a very strong statement to make. But also this, in just a few weeks before the elections, the BJP government decided to take away the reservations from Muslims and give it to a particular community whose vote they were trying to seek, a Hindu community, Hindu caste. So basically, the BJP in the last few months of its governance in Karnataka was trying very hard to communicate that it was very anti-Muslim in that sense. What is also interesting to me was that when Prime Minister Modi used the Bajrang Dal ban to essentially start using the slogan of Bajrang Bali and brought God into the elections.
दोनों हाथ ऊपर करके मेरे साथ बोलिए, बजरंग बली की, बजरंग बली की, बजरंग बली की.
So in that sense, the fact that the party which used religion more than anybody else did not benefit at all. 36% of the vote in 2018, 36% of the vote in 2023. So to me, that is very interesting, and I would like to doff my hat to the Karnataka voters and not to fall for the religion card in this particular elections. Another big issue that this election brings out is that Narendra Modi cannot win elections on his own everywhere in the country. Yes, he can simply win on his own in Gujarat and set up world records, and he might have a huge impact in North India. But all over the country, Narendra Modi cannot win on his own, regardless of how popular he is. His popularity ratings have been consistently above 74%. So that is an interesting observation that I think that opposition parties should pay attention to, is that the weakling apparently is the second engine in the two-engine theory that the BJP has, which means you have a national leader and you have a regional leader, and these are the two engines that will lead you to win elections. The second thing that has come out, or one of the major things that has come out of the Karnataka elections, is that BJP now has been reduced to a regional party from a national party. It has zero presence in the south. So like the Hindi media is saying, BJP Mukt South India. So if you look at the map now, or the electoral map of India, you see that BJP is not even ruling 50% of the Indian territory and 50% of the Indian population. So it only governs less than half of India and less than half of Indians, and clearly has no governing position in the south of India. This is a big deal in terms of perception. I don't know whether it will have electoral impact in 2024, whether it will affect the voting patterns. I don't think so, but this is something that will come as a source of encouragement and empowerment to non-BJP politicians and non-BJP voters. Then the final question, the big question is, are we witnessing a revival of the Indian National Congress? This year, Congress has won Himachal Pradesh and has also won Karnataka in a big way. What does it mean? In Karnataka, one other factor was the corruption of the ruling government, the 40% government. And so it also tainted the BJP, which always said we are not corrupt, everybody else is corrupt. But in the South, that slogan is belied, and everybody in Karnataka knew that the BJP government was as corrupt as any other government in the past. So is that the only reason why Congress won in Karnataka? Or was it able to do something more? Was the Bharat Jodo Yatra of Rahul Gandhi a factor in the swing of votes towards Congress? Did the voters in Karnataka take Congress more seriously because they saw that Rahul Gandhi is now becoming more mature and more engaged in the politics? He also campaigned quite aggressively in that state. His sister also campaigned in that state. So these are the big questions. And I think that it is too early to say that the Congress revival has begun. We can definitely say that BJP has become weaker than it was definitely a week ago. But the forthcoming elections in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, these three states are very critical. Madhya Pradesh is a stronghold of the BJP. Congress rules Chhattisgarh as well as Rajasthan, but Hindutva politics is very strong in all three of those states. So if Congress can hold Chhattisgarh and hold Rajasthan and make significant gains in Madhya Pradesh, then we can say with confidence that Congress revival has begun. That does not necessarily mean that it will translate into a victory in 2024, because Karnataka itself in 2018 shows that though Congress did significantly well and did form a government in Karnataka to begin with in 2018, the 2019 national elections, the Congress really was terrible. BJP practically swept the whole state. So while regional elections do give direction and purpose and indications of how the national elections will fare, the calculus in the national elections are entirely different than those of the state elections. So yes, if Congress can hold Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan and perform better than it did last time in Madhya Pradesh, then we can probably say that we are seeing a revival of Congress, and having two strong national parties rather than just one strong national party is good for the country. There is something else I do want to add before I check out. I was in Atlanta this weekend, and I was there for a dear friend's daughter's wedding. And there at the wedding, a member of the Khanversations family, Zain Sayed, met me, and apparently he's a big fan. He watches the show regularly, and he was delighted, and so was I, to meet with him. And the next day, he brought others who regularly watch Khanversations, and they discuss Khanversation. This was like a tonic to me, and I was very thrilled to meet a group of Khanversation family members in Atlanta. The next day, we met in my hotel lobby, had coffee and tea, and we chatted for nearly 2 hours about India and how Indian Americans were doing well. And I was very happy to see that there's a very big Indian American community in Atlanta. And what is also a good thing is they're quite integrated, both ethnically and religiously. So that's an interesting experience that I had over the weekend, and I thought I will share with all of you. For those of you who follow the community side of YouTube, on the YouTube channel, I will share some photographs and more comments about this Khanversations meetup in Atlanta. So thank you very much for watching Khanversations, and take care, and I'll see you soon again.